already at
What
Rachel,
what's the
it's only
what
Thursday and I'm already in a Friday mood. Okay.
Well, listen,
Dr.
This is
Gilbert, what's
good.
the word I taught you today?
Um, I don't remember.
Antepenultimate.
Oh, we're getting some we're getting some reverb.
uh-oh.
Hmm.
Oh, I do
Yeah.
hear that. Mm,
Anyway, hello, welcome everybody. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Christian. Welcome to Thursday. And yeah, it's yes, Christian is teaching me words, which obviously I'm not remembering. Maybe I need to get better sleep. Why didn't I get good sleep last night? Because my leg was, oh my gosh. It was bugging me. Why was my leg bugging me? Well, yeah, it's because of my plan B. I'm going to blame it on my plan B. Because Rachel, I don't know about you, but I haven't been exercising out here in this outside in the smoky zone. As a matter of fact, I don't recommend people to be exercising outside when it's so smoky like this. I feel so bad for the people who are really experiencing, terrible effects. And so I'm not trying to complain, but I'm gonna pivot my workout from outside to inside. I'm grateful that I am able to do that. And yesterday I pivoted to um, try Orange Theory because I've heard great things about Orange Theory. Yeah. And so that was my plan B. Plan A was work outside or workout outside, but that didn't work. And so I had to pivot to a plan B, and which was inside. And Rachel, somebody challenged me, and I took the challenge. I took the challenge.
what's the takeaway
Yeah.
you'd like to share with our listening audience?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna move here. Yeah, okay, that's okay. Let me move. And yes, well, all things in moderation. How about that? If it's been a year since you've been running, maybe ease into it.
What I'm hearing that was great was that you had a plan B. Without a plan B and an intention to move your body, regardless of what happens outside, right? As Oregonians, we can't bank all of our movement on how outside is going to be because we frequently are dismayed by that. And so we
Right.
have to have a plan B. Because you had a plan B, you were able to pivot. So the question was not, do I exercise today or not based on the weather? It was, where am I exercising today?
Yes.
What form am I doing? That is a strategy. That's a sustainable strategy.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you
But running,
for, wow,
yes.
way to go, coach. Thank you. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking
No.
about, yes, we've been talking about GLP-1s and all things GLP-1 and how they work and people are using them and some of the benefits and some side effects. We're getting into all of that. Today we wanted to take a deeper dive into why what you eat matters, and why you can't just eat, for example, maybe some processed food and add a little supplement, along with it. Because sometimes we think that we can, as long as I'm taking this multivitamin or whatever it is, and I'm getting the nutrients that I know that I'm told that my body needs from the supplement, it really doesn't matter the food that I'm eating. Yeah.
Right. So we're going to really bring up the concept of a food matrix. And this is going to really speak to and define why we harp so strongly on whole food, real food. It needs to have the fiber intact, not processed. There's a reason. And when you understand the logic behind it, it starts to really connect what you understand about your own body and what it needs to do. It's one thing to give your body enough protein, building blocks, amino
Right.
acids from a protein powder. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. but it didn't come with the matrix.
The Matrix.
The matrix.
Yes.
So,
The Matrix.
yeah, what is the matrix?
Right. Yes.
I mean,
The
it's a movie. It's
Matrix.
a great movie, and also,
Yeah, I might have to look that up again or watch it one more time. Yes, when we talk about the food matrix, we're talking about all of the compounds, known and unknown. I'm going to say that again, known and unknown, because there's so much unknown. All of the compounds that come with the food that we're eating, which help not just maybe it helps determine the rate of absorption into our bloodstreams. So we have to absorb the nutrients from the food, and we need certain cofactors and compounds to kind of help with that to slow that down. And then we need to take it so that's getting it from the gut. So it goes from we eat it into the gut, it goes from the gut into the blood, and then it has to go from the blood into all the cells, right? So it's all the rest of the compounds in food that help you move from the gut to the blood and then into the cells. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the food matrix.
and so what are they doing to foods that are processed or even, minimally processed? What did they do to the matrix? Why is the matrix not in that packaged product? Why is it
Yeah.
missing?
Yeah, well, I mean, because it's so broken down and
They took it
stripped.
away, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's broken down and stripped away. That's
Mhm.
right. As a matter of fact, I was looking at a question about the latest greatest food that was entered into our history in 1928, and everybody thought it was the best thing. And this is where maybe this comes from, the best thing since sliced bread. It was Wonder Bread, which started to be sliced. We used to sell bread whole. We used to sell whole bread whole. And then we sold ultra processed bread sliced. but the Wonder Bread strips all of it out, and then it kind of sprinkles back in, and we call it enriched. Enriched. And even though we enrich foods, you'll see this on product labeling a lot. It says enriched, or that means they stripped everything out of it and then they sprinkled a little bit back in, but it's not all the compounds that were in the original food to begin with, which help the uptake and assimilation of the nutrients that my bodies need to build my cells.
Yeah, they really couldn't strip all the food to make ultra processed food and not sprinkle and enrich it back in, because people would die. Because literally the food,
Yeah.
right? When you strip a food like a Wonder Bread of all of its matrix compounds, you're left with bread but no nutrition. So there would be no vitamins, minerals, nothing. So they have to add it back in. They have to, add it back in just so people can survive, knowing that for many people, if that's the only thing they're eating, that's the only place they're getting nutrition as far as the vitamins and the minerals. But as you're saying, now though, it's devoid of its fiber matrix, of the chemicals, the compounds, the things we don't even know about that interact with other things we eat. And so then
Right.
there's a synergy with foods. They interact with
Right.
each other when they're
Right.
whole.
Yeah, I just heard this or read this, that even the apple has how many compounds? I mean, it's okay, so forgive me for not remember the exact, but it's either 200 or 2000. It's one of those. It's not 20, it's not 2, it's not 20. It's 200 or more, which blows my mind to think that apple has not just, the peel and the pectin and probably some vitamin C and things like that, but it's got so many other compounds in it for my health. Yeah, pretty amazing. Yeah.
Right. And then
Christian,
and
what
then
do you think about the food
Yeah.
matrix, sir?
Is my thing still reverbing?
Yeah, sorry, it's still reverbing. Oh, I don't know how to help that.
Let me exit out and I'll pop right back in.
Okay.
there we
Okay.
go.
Let's try that.
While he's coming back in, good example of this for people listening. I'm still hearing it now. Ooh.
Huh.
Okay. Is it? Nope. Now I've got a.
Oh, so.
Okay, Dr. Gilbert, you're on your own for a minute. I'm going to pop out.
Okay. Okay, so sorry. So sorry,
Do I
everybody.
have
Yeah.
reverb?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, sweet. Oh, and now Rachel's gone. Technical difficulties. Anyways,
Yes.
what I was going to say is building off Rachel's point is, we take all this food, or we take all these nutrients and substances out of food to purify it. And then we have to enrich the food by adding it back in. And another reason we have to enrich foods is because when you take all these nutrients out and you take out all the bad fat, right? Fat-free food, it doesn't taste very good. And so then we have to add in sugar. We have to add back in these enriched, we have to enrich the food because it doesn't taste very good.
Right. Yeah. So, no kidding. So, maybe, yes. So, another thought about that is that when we take, we do a lot of research studies. We know that vitamin C is so important for immune function. We know vitamin E is so helpful for our eyeballs. We know, about leucine, a specific amino acid, and how important that is for muscle protein synthesis. So we study all these different elements or nutrients individually and see how important they are. But when we take them out of their whole food form and stick them over here in a capsule and try to give that capsule and expect the same health outcome, it never works the same. It never works the same. And it's because of everything we don't know. It's because of all the compounds in the whole food, in the food matrix, that helped vitamin D do what it was supposed to do, that helped the leucine, that helped the vitamin E. So it's pretty mind-boggling and just so amazing to me, and just another reason why I want to enjoy, learn about, try different things in the kitchen to get that real food in me. Yeah.
So what is the application for the GLP-1s then? Folks with GLP-1.
Yeah. What's the application? What's the application? Um, it's, I think, and this is worth repeating if we've said it again. I think, the GLP-1, people have less appetite. And, so, and they're going to be eating less food. And so all the more important to make sure that the food coming in has the nutrient density, the whole food matrix that 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 we need, versus thinking that we could continue eating processed food and just add a supplement. So I'm not saying taking the supplement is a wrong thing or a bad thing, but I'm saying if we want to get the most from the lesser amount of food that we're taking in, we've got to get the nutrient density. It has to be nutrient dense.
Yeah, it's kind of speaking to, I know there's still an echo. Can you hear that?
I can't hear it.
Not bad. Okay. It really does speak to not counting calories, because that's certainly not what we do in our program, but making every calorie count.
Oh, say that
Right.
again. Yeah.
Instead of counting calories, we're making every calorie count. If a person taking GLP-1, if their appetite is lower and they're satisfied for longer, then when they do eat, it needs to be as nutritious as possible, because those are the opportunities, those are the windows of opportunity for nutrition.
Right. Yeah. Yes, because every day we need to bring in the essential nutrients, the elements that make our bodies function well and that heal our body. And I think of it as, like there's some minions in our guts that are kind of watching this conveyor belt of food going by, and their job is to check off the nutrients that are coming in that are essential that the body needs, and that gives feedback to the brain about satiety and hunger cues and things like that. And if it's processed food, or if it's not the whole food matrix, they're not going to be able to do their job as well. Yeah. So, yeah. So important to eat that whole real food. Are we stuck? Did we stall? No.
I'm here. I just think that there's a lot of I'm getting a lot of feedback, so I'm trying
Oh,
to.
so sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
So sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what to do. We haven't had this problem before.
I know this is an interesting one. Well, so maybe you can share a little bit about how our program at Oregon Weight and Wellness, what we're doing with nutrition counseling, and how we're really addressing this
Yeah, great. Yeah,
patient by
super.
patient.
Yeah, so right, we take a deep dive into the different parts of food, different element. I call it the 3 E's. We take a deep dive in what are the essential nutrients your body needs, can't make on its own. It has to bring them in, and it brings them in the best way through whole real food because of that food matrix. We talk about energy and where energy comes from, and we talk about the fact that most of us are storing the energy. So if we want to use the energy that we have already stored, we don't need to bring as much food energy in. So we differentiate elements and nutrients from energy. So we make that differentiation, and we talk about those foods that are high in nutrient density and lower in energy density. And the best examples of those are your high fiber vegetables, usually the above ground vegetables, in your beans. I mean, 2 nutrient dense, lower energy, high fiber foods that that check those food matrix boxes. Yeah, so we talk a lot about that and differentiate between nutrients and energy. And then we also talk about enjoying food, because if I'm telling you to eat Brussels sprouts and you hate Brussels sprouts, I mean, you might kind of grin and bear it for a week or 2 or even a month, but you're gonna quit, right? Because this is gross. Yeah. So we really try to find the foods that you enjoy, and do a little bit of food upgrade. Yeah. So we take a deep dive into nutrition, and then the other thing is we coach along. So, for example, some of us are eating the standard American diet when we come in, and we don't ask people to do a 180-degree turn where they clean out their whole closet, or a pantry or a refrigerator. Sometimes people are willing to do that, but most of the time we can't. So we really talk about the 1 degree or the 2 degree turn that a person is willing to make, feels like confident they can make that decision, and so it's sustainable, it's doable. They understand that it's worth it for them to do. Yeah, and so small changes over time to improve the quality of the food that they're eating make such a big difference in their health and how they feel.
Yeah, and that's really in a supported way and in a structured way. The tiny small steps, make a little pivot, and then get that regular and normal, and then make another little pivot. And gently over time, it becomes easier and doable.
That's so true. And that's where the coaching comes in too, is, we help people kind of look at their day-to-day life and see where it might be the easiest place, or the simplest place might be a better word, to make that change, and then take those small steps, develop those tiny habits to sustain the change. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that when we're talking about like individualized, where we would like someone to start and where someone's ready to start doesn't always match. So we don't start with where we want to start. We start with where they're ready. Where is the energy? For instance, someone might feel like they really should be exercising more, but also their sleep is pretty bad. Which one do they fix first? And usually the answer is, which one are you ready to fix?
Right.
Which one do you feel most motivated or prepared or confident that you can fix? Let's start there with the easier wins.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. So yes, because we need both motivation and confidence and to make a change. So important in changing anything in our lives. And so if it's something that I am ready to do, or if it's a small change, I mean, it doesn't take a lot of motivation to, let's say, if I already have an egg in the refrigerator to maybe make the egg for breakfast, but it would be a huge change. If you're asking me to get this whole list of ingredients for this complicated dish that's supposedly really healthy for me. So I want to shrink the change and then try it a couple of times, build my confidence, and that just that keeps people engaged and motivated and ready to do the next thing. Yeah.
I was gonna say something here.
Yeah.
And I'm not reverbing. This is great. So I want to talk about how small the change that we want to make. So let's just say, for example, that you are going in the wrong direction. 100%. You're going the wrong way. You are getting unhealthy. So we know it takes 180 degrees to turn around, right? A full circle, like a 180, you turn completely around and you start going backwards. So how long would it take you to turn around, or how small of a change would you need to make every single day if you wanted to turn your life around in 1 year? And the answer is so 360 is almost 180 times 2. So we can divide that by 2, divide that by 2. Anyways, 1/4 of a turn. So you just need to turn 1/4 of a degree, and then within 1 year, you will have made the complete 180 degrees
Wow.
turn.
Yeah.
So, we think of, oh, I need to turn my life around so fast, and it's so hard to do that, and I can't do that. But if you take a step back and you think about the big picture, 1 year, that's not a whole lot of time, and but it's enough time that you can accomplish a lot in 1 year. And then you break it down to that final step. How much do I need to turn or change every day? And 1/4 of a degree. So day by day, it's imperceptible. But if you take a step back, that's a big change. So yeah, small changes every day, consistently trying to improve. That's what's important, because you add it up, and it's a big change when you look at it from way back.
Yeah. Great point, Christian. Yeah, that's a great point. So shrinking the change and being consistent, and then with making changes every day, giving yourself grace and time. In a year, yeah, a year I went from an A1C of 10 to 5.6. So it's possible. It's doable. Change is possible, and a little bit of change at a time. And yeah, a year isn't a long time to make huge changes in your health. Great. Yeah, so important. All right. So how do we want to? I think we're coming to the end of the time here. So food matrix, so important. And we talk about that here at Oregon Weight and Wellness. We coach this small change that makes it doable, enjoyable, and not gritting your teeth, not dieting, not starving yourself, not overly restricting, not I can't eat this, I can't eat that. It's what beautiful food out there is there for me to really enjoy and nourish my body with. So give us a call, and we'd be happy to help you on that journey. But in the meantime, Rachel, tell us what's for dinner.
Okay, I'll make, because there's a lot of reverb here. But we've been on a Buddha bowl mix. So it's kind of like the Nourish bowl all week. We prepped a couple of things, and then every night we make another new element and kind of add it to the mix. So it's a little bit of leftovers every day and a little bit of new stuff, and we're kind of revitalize it. It's just kind of the mode we're in right now. So it's kind of the Nourish bowl mode.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice. How about you, Christian? Do you know what's for dinner for you?
Yeah, and this is a good example of a recipe that you can make better. One of my favorite recipes growing up was cream cheese chicken. It's super simple. You have some chicken, you cook it in an Instant Pot, so fancy, and you add some salt, some pepper, some Italian spices, and then obviously it's got cream cheese in it. And you shred the chicken and you eat it on rice. But what I've started doing as I'm trying to get healthier and make better food choices is you can swap that rice out for another whole grain instead of just white rice. And then I now love steaming broccoli or cauliflower, or you can do it with other veggies. So the sauce, the chicken sauce, you can start eating that on all sorts of veggies. So I think we'll have some broccoli with a little bit of this chicken sauce on it.
Oh, sounds delish. Sounds delicious.
And I'm gonna keep making it healthier every time I make it.
There you go. I love it. That 1 degree change. I love it. Very good. Excellent. So yes, we introduced Christian to bulgur while he was here. So yeah, yay.
It's super tasty. I approve.
Yes. And so what am I having to? I don't know. So yeah, it's what I'm gonna go to my super fridge. Because and last night I had in my super fridge was an eggplant, and it was eggplant, and I had a little egg white with my eggplant. But yeah, so I don't know, but I have we have beautiful fruit from our trees. Maybe I'll have just a little bit, not too much, early, because I don't want to eat that too late in the day, but. With some, maybe I'm going to have breakfast for dinner with my yogurt and a little bit of fruit in there. But I got to think of other vegetables. I always have my base salad, and so constantly adding to my base salad. I don't know is the answer, but there's stuff in my super fridge, so I am confident that I will find food in my super fridge. Okay. All right. Well, I apologize for all our trouble. Hopefully we'll blame it on the smoke. I don't know, but but yeah. Until next time, enjoy eating that whole real food, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Stay healthy.